How much money do a guy have to be with you?
Yearly?
Yeah, yeah.
6 weeks.
We don't even gotta put a number on it, just for, you to be able to financially support yourself and me to
get your passport.
The modern environment is a very interesting one. If you wake up on a daily basis and just consume social media, you'll be inundated with men are bad posts. Posts like this one: why is dating hard for guys? A man who takes a shower every day, exercises himself, and focuses on self-improvement gets all the attention from young ladies, and all of the other kind of guys don't. You're dating young girls because women your age see the clown in you. And then this one is a doozy. The nuclear family isn't a family. It's a man with free childcare, maid service, laundry, cook, psychologist, social coordinator, etc. It was meant to give poor men what rich men have.
You want to come home with me tonight? It's been a while.
Regardless of which Shaft you're speaking of, the older Shaft as Richard Roundtree or the newer Shaft with Samuel L. Jackson, there were unwritten rules to the dating game, or should I say the have fun at night game.
You just want to be held, or you want the LD?
The agreement was pretty much, quote unquote, I got what you want, you got what I need.
I want the LD, baby. And then I want to be held.
And in such a time and environment, as a guy, you had one duty.
You know me. It's my duty to please that booty.
If you're trying to be Shaft, however, in a different environment where essentially all of those assumed rules have been wiped off the board, then it's fair game. You can do whatever you want. You can go back retroactively and be this.
There's people speculating that you maybe are Jane Doe. What's the deal?
So, before I answer that, I would like to say I really hope all the victims, including me, get justice. A lot of us don't deserve that, and I just feel like a lot of things have been swept under the rug for so long, and I feel sorry to the victim. I've been through a lot of stuff with him.
Has this suit that you saw, drop just now, giving you any feelings like, hey, or inspiration to file your own grievances, your own suit?
I don't want to talk about that right now without my lawyer present, but I'm just shocked, and hopefully he changes and the victim and me and everyone else can find comfort and move past all of this.
If you notice a correlation between the previous video and this one, is that this is all before marriage and before kids. This is just a simple interaction, that there really aren't any ground rules anymore, that pretty much anything a guy does is going to end up toxic, like this.
Worry about you, man.
Hey, don't be going doing that with my sister. You be going on, my guy.
Oh, I don't even know this thing.
No, my guy. You can go on, my guy. Go back to the street.
Get your passport.
Well, go inside. Let him go.
Yeah.
He ain't
Leave me here.
Look how you doing my business. Say less.
Z, my wife just brought me some juice. It's like coconut.
Jesus!
Yeah. I'm thinking a very much nice, cool drink on a nice day.
Look. Y'all mute up. Y'all mute. Tell me running through.
So here we come. We playing all the misandry here. Hey, guess what I got?
That's what I got.
Shut up.
Very often when we see these kinds of viral videos, there is a baby in tow, and maybe we don't make very much of it, but it's very easy to forget that not just is there a father involved, but there's a dynamic between the mom, the dad, and that child that cannot be very harmonious, especially if you're seeing these kinds of videos pop up time after time after time.
A woman with something in her hand chasing after a 12-year-old over a Little League football game. The child running away with his hands in the air.
This is ridiculous. Like, how could you get that angry at a kid's game your son plays football. They tackle each other. That's just the name of the game. How can you get that upset to chase him, and not only chase him, but curse him while you're chasing him?
It was the first game of the season for the Southside Ravens. They were up against the Northwest Gorillas. The game was cut short after just a few minutes of starting.
Yeah, he was okay. I picked him up and everything, and he was actually trying to shake my hand after the play until I guess his mom started chasing me.
An incident report by the Youth Football and Cheerleading League uncovers the parent in question was found in violation of multiple code of conduct policies. The YFF calling the woman a substantial threat to the environment.
Hey, if you cannot control your emotions that much that you get that upset, then you don't need to be around kids.
Back in the day when we used proximity to access to women as a judge of quote-unquote manhood or swag or game or whatever you choose to call it, there were at least some unwritten rules. They were sometimes bent, sometimes broken, but when you take all the rules away, just having that access really means that you get, at best, an invitation to craziness or dysfunction.
Hey, baby daddies! Oh, hey! Y'all keep trying to dap it up and get me out. Yeah, I'm tired of y'all not popping if y'all don't got both y'all baby daddies at the house with their kids. Look at this. Say cheese, y'all. This is my family. We are family. I got all my baby daddies with me.
In this situation, this is a woman that is celebrating the fact that she could bring her two baby daddies together and they could be some kind of family. And I imagine she feels like she's some kind of alpha female because she has two men under her umbrella. This is the modern reward for the guys that quote unquote have the duty to please that booty. And if there aren't any rules, she can say that she's taking precautions when she's not because she wants you to be under her umbrella of baby daddies. And then there's when it gets even worse than that.
This brutal competitiveness has created a system of high schools so strict that they are known as gaokao factories. Students are monitored by CCTV cameras in every classroom, with teachers punishing them for any bad behavior, including taking a drink, lifting their heads from their books, or talking with classmates.
When I think in the modern sense of two adults coming together and participating in the act that creates more humans, of course it's assumed that if you like it rough or kind of deviant, that there's going to be an agreement that that's just what you guys choose to do, and if you don't go to the police in the next 24 hours or so, that there is some form of agreement there. That is a touchy subject, but that's why.
Get your passport.
Of course, I'm not suggesting that guys either at home or overseas should engage in sketchy or even illegal behavior. But if you're a stand-up guy and you want to just cover your bases, you're wondering, do I need to have a lawyer in the bedroom with us? Do I need to record it in 4K? Do I need to get a legal agreement? What are the new rules so that I can protect myself so that 10, 15, 20 years down the road, or even a couple of weeks down the road, a young lady might change her mind? There are two circumstances, like I said before. One, of course, is a woman who understands this is night fun, and during the fun, if I don't want to call the police or tell him, stop what you're doing because I feel violated, and he continues, and there's no police report or whatever, then it was just a night of good fun like Shaft would have had.
It's my duty to please that booty.
And if it's not that, and of course no crimes are committed, and you want to have the baby, you have to understand the world you're having a child in and the competition that's waiting for your child in this new world where there's going to be a glut of competition for children to get to the table where they can make a difference in history.
Heng Shui mode, as it's known, has been criticized in China as being too extreme, but its focus on gruelingly long study hours has proven to be effective. Research done by Peking University in 2022 found that Chinese high school students, on average, spent 60 hours a week studying. Many parents send their children to tutoring centers. Chen Yanxi stopped attending her registered high school 6 months before the gaokao. Instead, she went to a full-time tutor school that offered a more tailored study schedule. Now her day starts at 6:30 in the morning and ends at 10 at night. That's 15 and a half hours of schoolwork, 6 days a week.
The point that I think is paramount to make in this video is that no matter how big her gluteus maximus is or how good she looks in that sundress or whatever she's wearing, if she chooses to have the child with you, she has to have that kernel of truth inside of her that understands that no matter what the situation is I have with my baby daddy, I am not going to use my child as a pawn, because my child is going to have to go into a world where the competition is what you just saw in the Chinese high schools. How is my child going to compete if I'm doing this kind of BS, I dare to say, with her father?
You don't want to color?
That's confirmation look 1. She's scared to even look at her father. Confirmation look 2.
Do you want, what about puzzle? You like puzzles? You don't like puzzles?
Confirmation look 3.
No puzzles?
She likes the toy, but she
You
checks
don't
with her
want
mom. There's no doubt that her
What
mother
about slime? You like
briefed her
slime?
about how to behave in this interaction.
You do.
And the father's helpless. The mom should
Wanna
actually be
try that?
helping the young girl get out of the car, right?
But you like it. You don't want it?
Looked again. That's 4.
You want to try it? Want me to open it for you? No?
She's afraid to look at her father. She
Do you
did just
like
again. That's 5.
Do you like snacks?
Even the other child won't look at him.
No? Animal crackers? You like animal crackers? No? Fruit snacks?
Now listen to this interaction here.
Is that yes or no? No? What about goldfish?
Listen to this.
Like goldfish? No, Riley, you like goldfish? You do? You want one? You don't want one.
She
But you
won't
like
look
them.
at him either.
Huh? I can't hear you.
Bad
What'd
for
she
her
say?
teeth.
They're not good for your teeth? What about, who told you that? The dentist told you that? Who told you that?
Her mother told her that.
Huh? What about animal crackers? Can you have animal crackers?
This is a father trying
No.
to be a good dad, and the mother is making it
What
absolutely
about fruit snacks?
impossible. Girl won't even look at him. That's so
Nothing, no
sad.
snacks?
Nothing, man. Nothing. She keeps checking with her mom. It's about the 9th or 10th time she's done it.
Don't want anything? You sure you don't want the cake pop? You want it for later?
Now, if you are a father, this is heartbreaking on several levels. The first of which is, of course, your child won't even acknowledge you, which hurts enough. But if you aren't sure that your wife or baby mother is getting your child prepared to compete against the Chinese kids that you just saw, or the kids in India, or even the kids in America that are taking their education seriously, your kid is being set up to basically never have failure to launch. They're not going to be able to compete in the world that's coming. And as a father, you're helpless. When people say that getting booty and getting a lot of attention from women is manly, and they say that guys are in smells, if you will, because they don't have a lot of women wanting them, this is the prize if you get with an unruly woman that's not going to cooperate with you. And the person that's going to suffer the most is the children, because these children cannot compete with the kids that you saw in China. Back in the day, I don't know if there were as many rules as we like to think there were, but there were some rules. I'm not going to come back a couple of years later and say that you did something that might get you arrested if I didn't call the police at the time of, because clearly you could go somewhere safe and do that. Or if I have a child, even if I don't like you, I'm not going to punish the child by keeping the child away from you. But if you take all of that off the table, there literally are no rules. And that's why I say sex is not the flex that it used to be. Getting a lot of sex today is an avenue to essentially destroy yourself. If you are opening yourself up, especially in an environment like we have in the modern day West, it's just a matter of time before someone's going to wake up and say, what can I extract out of this situation? Or how can I pull a baby out of this situation so that I can set myself up for the rest of my life? Or even just using the baby as a pawn so that I can make someone that I wanted to be with me more unhappy. And that kid is going to have to grow up in a world that's going to be more and more controlled by China. And China, they're not playing around with their kids. I can tell you from the vocabulary that I've learned, the definition of a good parent is that the kid has a good education. And if we're going to have this kind of push and pull, and this is going to be a reward for a man who gets a lot of action, that's no victory. And that is nothing to celebrate, because at the end is going to be kids that cannot compete, still living with their parents, that are the quote unquote prize. And I don't see any prize in that. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, guys.